Hello, everyone, and welcome to a sort of review of Silksong, but not in the way you're thinking, buddy. This isn't about the music, this isn't about the exploration, this isn't about the story or lack thereof. No. This is about the difficulty. We are reviewing people's complaints, the common complaints about this game, and how they're dead wrong. This video is basically shut up, get good. Now, normally everybody would start the video off by explaining their experiences with the prior game, the previous game, Hollow Knight. And let me tell you, I have my own experience with Hollow Knight, and I know what you guys are expecting. Oh, is he going to tell us how he got through the Pantheon and how he got 100% and everything? No. Actually, I did not finish Hollow Knight. I don't even think I got halfway through Hollow Knight. In fact, I don't like Hollow Knight, the original, because, in my opinion, the knight is too slow. The exploration is too shallow. I hate having to have items to get items. And I know what you're saying. Well, it's a Metroidvania. Yes, I get that. I understand that. However, I did not like the way it was done in Hollow Knight. So the game didn't exactly click with me. And I'm not saying Hollow Knight is bad. Oh, no. I understand the game is good. But to me, I just did not like it. And I died to the bosses a lot. I think I died to False Knight. I think he's the first boss, like 3-4 times maybe. You know, and he's supposed to be like stupid easy. And then I got to like this flying magician guy, and he kind of destroyed me too. I remember just having trouble with the bosses. Now, what does that mean for this game? Well, listen closely. To put it nice and short and sweet, I did not really have trouble with the bosses in this game. Now, don't get me wrong, I have the same problem with exploration in this game, perhaps even more so than the original, because there's a lot of just empty spots and breakable walls and all that crazy stuff. But we're not here to talk about that. That's not why I enjoyed Silksong over the original. What I enjoyed about Silksong was Hornet's movement, her grace, the boss fights, getting to travel through areas that actually require more than just a jump or moving right or left. Now, I know, I didn't get a chance to do the Path of Pain because I, just did not finish Hollow. I get that. I understand that. I know. That's bad on me. But right now it's Silksong time. And we're going to be talking about the bosses and the enemies and what you need to get through them. Because people have trouble beating what? Morrowind? He got nerfed. The Sister Splinter? She got nerfed in the first set of nerfs. Like Savage Beastfly? Okay, I admit, I did die 5 times to him. But I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of the bosses in this game, I beat either my first or second try. And that's not me glazing myself or being like, I'm super good. No, because at first, just like with Hollow Knight, this game did not click with me. Let me explain. So, first boss is Moss Mother. Not very hard. In fact, I think it would be even easier than False Knight because, I beat her my first try. I got to the Bell Beast, and he beat me twice. He shouldn't have. He's not that hard a boss, but he did. Because the game had not clicked with me yet. I didn't understand what I was doing, but the reason why... First, let me get into this. The reason why I even bought the game, despite not liking Hollow Knight, is because a roommate of mine really loves Hollow Knight, and has kind of convinced me to get the game. And we were playing side by side. And this person was able to get further than me because they had more time on their hands. I work full time, but every time I did play the game, I got further than them. Every time. We were sharing notes on, finding stuff, so I didn't have to do, super amount of exploration. I could focus on just playing the game. Now, I did find a lot of stuff on my own. I found like 90% of the stuff on my own. And there's just some stuff I missed. The thing is, when I sat down to watch this person play, they were fighting bosses by basically ramming into them and just striking them, not using... Oh, wait, I might spoil what I was about to explain there. Let's just say it was really bad. So back to me, I beat the Bell Beast, and I skip over to Hunter's March, and I fight the Savage Beastfly. And yes, as I said before, the Savage Beastfly annihilated me 5 times. But then I realized that's suddenly when everything just clicked. It clicked. This is not how the game works. How the game expects you to fight every boss, in fact, even many of the enemies, is through dance. I know that sounds crazy, but listen. These bosses move around like crazy. They're nuts. You can see it on the screen right now with Lace 2 while I'm fighting her like cursed. They do not wait around. They don't wait for you. You have to dance around their attacks to beat them. You have to take the openings. You gotta use your tools. You have to use your skills. You have to heal. The thing is that this game gives you one of the most generous heals I've ever seen. You get 3 health from using it. And there's plenty of safe ways to use it. There are people who mash health in a panic and get annihilated. That is not how this game is meant to be played. And that's why everybody has trouble with this game. Because they refuse to use their tools. They refuse to use their skills. But I think, yeah, Silksong got nerfed. But before that, we had a whole month with this game. That skill does so much crazy damage. It is ridiculous. And then that's it. I managed to beat Morwing dying once. I beat Splinter Sister my first try. A lot of the Act 1 bosses, Phantom, I beat my first try. And it's not just because I'm good. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if you took the actual time to understand the game's movement system, to understand how Hornet moves around, I just said that, understand what skills you should use, use them, and understand that you have skills that not only you can just use on bosses, use them on enemies to clear them. Because I saw this review from like Type 2 Productions or something, whatever, and they were complaining about, one of the complaints they had was like these fly enemies, these pink fly enemies from, I think, something wood, where you fought Sister Splinter. And they take 4 hits with the base nail. My guy, you have skills that can kill them faster. And there's an upgrade in Bellheart. But they don't use them. And I just don't understand. Like, in the video there, that I'm fighting right now. Now, at this point, I was like feeling like I should use my nail because, sometimes I felt like it was kind of cheap just using like skills and stuff. But I still shot at that guy 3 times. Like, and I threw my boomerang. Look at that. Look at what the boomerang did. This is what I'm talking about. You have skills and tools for a reason. Use them. Use them. I don't know why you don't. They will get you through these fights. However, the next boss that filtered me for death was the one and only Last Judge. And let me get this out there right now. The run back to Last Judge takes like 40 seconds. There are people who complain about the flies, the drill flies that you run into, or the judges. You do not have to fight them. You can just skip right over them and they will never hurt you. They will never hit you. Why do people feel the need to just keep attacking the enemies that they run into when you don't have to do that? You can get to the Last Judge with a few pogos and a few jumps and you're there. And people complain about this. What was I? Right, the Last Judge. The Last Judge is legitimately difficult. He beat me 4 times. And that is because he teaches you your next lesson. Dancing with a partner. Because right now you've been dancing on your own. You've been doing your own little jig with these bosses and stuff. Now you have to learn to dance with the bosses. He is going to teach you that, and you better learn. You have to understand the enemy attacks, because even healing will not get you through these bosses now that they are consistently doing double damage and they are constantly attacking with screen-filling attacks. It's scary, it is difficult, but if you took the time to learn and once again understand the tools that you have, and explored, by the way, explored to get yourself upgraded instead of just rushing through the game like a ninny, you would be able to understand what this game expects from you. So then we move on to Act 2. So in Act 2, you should be putting your dancing skills to good use. Now, you don't have claw line yet, so flying enemies can be annoying. But again, you have skills and you have tools. Just use them. Alright? Just use them. You're going to have plenty of silk at that point to use your skills and just kill anything that is a danger. Please. It's not that hard. The first boss you should be facing is the Cogwork Dancers. This should solidify that you should learn how bosses work, because they literally show you how they work with the lines that they dance to. You'll probably take a hit when they do a straight attack down for your first time, and you note that they spread their claws. Slicers, whatever you want to call them. But, yeah, that's it. There's nothing more to talk about that, because it's common sense. Like, there are games that are... Portrait of Ruin, Castlevania Portrait of Ruin is harder than this game. It really is. And I think even Order of Ecclesia is. And there's no boss runbacks in that game. You can refight the boss over and over. I understand that the runback makes it hard to get like a muscle memory against the bosses. But you will legit lose to the bosses in those 2 games more than Silksong, simply because they're more difficult. I would love to see these people playing those 2 games. I really would. Because as far as Act 2 goes, the only bosses that beat me more than 3 times was the curse, was when I fought Lace and Grandmother Silk cursed. She takes away everything. It's travesty. Like, Grandmother Silk actually did take me an hour to beat. The only boss thus far to take me an actual good long time. Because now I was forced to fight basically how everybody else fight the boss. By just using the damn nail. Well, there you go. That's why it's so hard, because you guys just refuse to use the tools that the game literally gives you. And then the worst part is that these people complain, and there's mods. There's mods that literally make the game easier, because instead of learning the game, they would rather just make it easier and take away the experience from themselves. Alright? Either you play the game as it's meant to be, or you move on to something else. The thing I did with Hollow Knight 1. Because you're complaining about a game that is legitimately not even that hard. This game is not hard. It really, really isn't. And it baffles the mind that just this many people have trouble with it. And it's just because they mostly refuse to use the skills that the game hands them. This game has so many movement options. And another thing they complain about is contact damage. Oh my god, it's a Metroidvania. What do you expect? There are enemies in Portrait of Ruin, and especially in Order of Ecclesia, the stupid cave trolls in Order of Ecclesia and Portrait of Ruin that will freaking kill you in like 2 to even 1 hit in contact damage. I don't even want to hear it. I don't even want to hear it. You think that's bad? Go play those games. Go play those games and see how bad it can get. Alright? But here we are. We are just at a place where the game is being changed. The game was changed because people just refuse. They would rather modify the game than learn the game and feel entitled to this opinion that this game is extremely difficult when it isn't, even compared to Metroid Dread. Metroid Dread is another game. I lost to the bosses in that game more than this. Metroid Dread is a legitimately more difficult game than Silksong. And I also feel that the exploration in that game is so much better. It's so much better than Silksong. But Silksong, I believe, just has a lot of fun bosses. It's a great game. I'm not saying I beat it. Silksong is a fun. It's a fun game. I like Silksong. But as far as difficulty goes, I just don't understand people. They just sound like whiny people who legitimately need to get good. They refuse to understand the game. They think, like with Biowater. Oh my god, the run back of Biowater is legit a bench that makes it. You can get to this boss in less than 2 minutes. Maybe even sooner. It does not take that long. And they complain about the one. Who cares if you get cursed by the freaking maggots? It is not hard to deal with. Biowater is not that. The still kin are annoying, but my god, it's not that bad. Ooh, that was a little bit of a long tangent there of me repeating myself a few times. But we move on to Act 3. At this point, you have to have learned the game. If you got to Act 3, whatever complaints you have now is null and void. Because you should already have the skills to deal with it. You should already have the upgrades. You should have done your exploring. Because Act 3 is where the challenge is. Now, there are bosses that are actually legitimately difficult and test your skills. All of your skills and understanding of the game. I managed to do Coral Tower without dying. For some reason, that place is the jail. I don't understand why people complain about Coral Tower. That place is the jail. That place. So Coral Tower, I have to actually rant about this. Coral Tower has a super easy boss, and its gauntlets itself are super easy because they throw so much silk and healing at you with easy enemies meant to just farm silk that I do not understand how anybody lost in the Coral Tower with the skills they should have already learned in the game. So, let's take that out of the equation. Nihilus and Thess. Legit challenging boss fights. I lost to Thess once, and I lost to Nihilus twice. Pretty tough bosses. Pretty. I mean, there's really no complaint. There's no reason to complain about Act 3. It's near the end of the game, but I'm just doing it anyway. The Clover Dancers. You have no reason to lose to these bosses. The Cogwork dancers were easy, and it's basically the same fight. It's the same fight. It is not difficult. You should have this one in the bag. And then there's Carmelita. Oh no. Carmelita is another boss that is actually legit difficult, and especially because she takes everything you've learned and puts it on its head, because she's legit a dancer. She knows how to dance. She can block your attacks, she can block your skills. She is very difficult. She is one of the only challenging boss fights in the game, and I legit lost to her a lot. I think I took like 30 minutes to beat her. Ugh. And then there's the true final boss, who, yeah, she's also super legit difficult, and it took me a while to beat. Other than that, Act 3 doesn't really have any other hard bosses that, I can think of. That, beat me more, that many times. Because by then, again, You should understand how the game works. So basically, in conclusion, I think the people who whine about the game just didn't take the time to learn, don't want to take the time to learn, and just, since the game does not play the way they want it to play, they think that just the opinion of getting good is bad because they legit just don't want to get good. They just don't want to take the little time it takes to get good. I literally beat this game with 94% in 34 hours. Take note that was also me like screwing around a lot, and I still beat this game in under 40 hours. There are people who took like double or even triple that to beat the game. True ending. Thank you for listening to my dumbass rant. Okay, hold on. I did forget one thing, and that's Tormented Trabio. Trabio! I lost to him like 3 times. Like, you really have to pay attention to that boss fight. Yeah, like, regular Trabio, beat first try. Tormented Trabio, I was not expecting that. You just really have to pay attention to that guy. Oh, and shout out to Sharma. He's the best boy. Like, I'm glad he didn't die. Goodbye, everybody. Leave your hate comments and your complaints right there. I may respond to them. I may not. I really don't care.